Good evening. I'm Luther Schleck, and for now just consider me a concerned citizen like yourself. Many Americans feel that a threat of a communist takeover of these United States died out in the 1950s. Well, I'm here to tell you that that's a lot of hogwash. Our friends in Moscow have other ideas. Today everything's red, white, and blue, and tomorrow your milkman's name is Ivan. Many of you are no doubt skeptical. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Ostrich with your head in the sand, soon you'll be singing another tune, and it won't be Yankee Doodle Dandy. Now let us examine some of the warning signs, which will allow us to know whether your friends and neighbors are in actuality commie nitwits.
Here's an ordinary-looking fellow. Let's just call him Mr. Red. Hello, Mr. Red. What if you had this snake in the grass living next door to you? Little Junior comes running home from the neighbors. Mommy, Daddy, I can't play Little League this year. I have to read the Communist Manifesto. Let's see what Mrs. Red is up to. Oh, a couple of the neighborhood gals are over for a little innocent Tupperware fun.
Let us examine this Tupperware. Look how small and frail. It cannot even hold a fine cooked cabbage. It is useless. Another example of capitalist deception. This Tupperware is not unlike your barbaric Star Wars defense system.
I like this one!
Send her to the gulag!
At this juncture, you're probably asking yourself if there are any precautions you can take to protect yourself and your loved ones from the communist menace. Well, you can buy one of these. It's your right. And here are some other simple suggestions.
Under no circumstances allow a communist to babysit your child.
The Council of Ministers of the USSR shall be formed by the Supreme Soviet of the USSR at a joint sitting of the Soviet of the Union and the Soviet of Nationalities, and shall consist of the Chairman of the Council of Ministers of the USSR, First Vice Chairman and Vice Chairman, Ministers of the USSR, and Chairman of the State Committees of the USSR. And they all lived happily ever after.
Can I have some cookies and milk?
Yes, but first you must have your heroin injection.
Do not allow a communist to borrow your toothbrush, for obvious reasons. Do not allow yourself or your loved ones to accept food or beverages prepared by a communist.
You should also refrain from swimming, shaving, or fornicating with a communist. And never look one directly in the eyes. The communist vocabulary is not like our own. Beware of these telltale phrases sprinkled throughout normal conversation.
Jane Fonda's newest movie is most admirable. You should see it many times.
Nancy Reagan is very old and most unstylish.
There is no blotch on his head.
I prefer to wait in line for my toiletries. Don't you?
The Yugo is a quality car. I highly recommend its purchase.
Tell me more about this electrolysis.
The communist civilization is one that is much more primitive and barbaric than our own. Often, the communist infiltrator can be spotted by the unsophisticated contraband they bring with them from the mother country. Let us examine these Soviet-made luxury items. The new Soviet hair dryer and stylist. The pocket traveler's nose hair clippers. The Russian bedroom slippers, imported from Gdansk. The Soviet Q-tip, extra soft. And the Soviet feminine sanitary napkin. Let's see if you've learned anything from our little presentation. Try and identify the communist behavior in the following scenes.
How do you like your white fish? Your mass is not very plentiful. I have desecrated your President Lincoln. Eat Titleist hide, Honest Abe.
It is the duty of every citizen to recognize deviant behavior. It's like our friend Smokey the Commie says, say no to alternative ideologies. And until then, keep looking to the skies.
What are you still watching this for, when you could be out fighting communism?